Welcome back to building an org chart in a Silverlight business application using GoZam. This second video is going to enhance the appearance of the org chart by adding gradients and shadows to the node's data template. We're going to take over where we left off in the last one. I've made a couple of changes here since the previous recording ended. I have removed some boilerplate from this homepage that said homepage. I've formatted the code so that it fits on the screen we're recording. I've added a single line of code that adds the license to the application so there's no watermark here that you see in the trial. And I have set some margins in the Go diagram, the max height and padding and margin. The next thing I want to do is I want to come to the domain source, the data source, and I want to add some filters just to cut down on the data a little bit. We're adding a filter descriptor for property department, sales, and department executive. So we're just going to see the sales and executive part of the data, and up in the domain data source we've added a filter operator or, so it's this or this. We're now going to go to the templates. The black and white was functional but not very pretty, so what we're going to do is change the border brush to a nice blue color, and we're going to change the background to a little lighter blue. We're going to change the padding to give our node a little more space, and we're going down to the stack. We're going to add another stack panel with a new text block that binds to the path in the data of job title, and that is that. So now let's take this same border brush color and apply that to our links. Change the link thickness to 3, and the corner we'll bump that up a little bit to 6, and then let's run this to see what we have. There. Now we've got the blue with a little slightly darker border. We've got the links now are in the compatible blue color. We've added title to the name, and we can scroll down and see. So we have just the data from executives and sales, the sales department. We have the European, Pacific, and North American sales departments. So that looks better. There's some other data here. There's the group and department name that we'd like to be able to see, but maybe we don't want to have it in the diagram altogether. So what we're going to do is add a tooltip to our node template. Down under here, we're going to paste a tooltip service with a horizontal stack panel that has a text of group name followed by a slash and then department. So it'll be sales and marketing. And let's run that. So now if I point at the chief executive or sales, you see the department and the group that they're in. So that's a nice feature. All of the tooltip is handled without any code. It's all just XAML. Let's make it a little prettier. Next we want to try a linear gradient brush. So I'm going to paste in the code for a brush here that's a blue gradient brush with a couple of simple stops. And I'm going to take that name and put it down in the background as a static resource of blue gradient brush. So that now refers to this, and we'll run that. And that looks a little better. We're getting there. We got a pretty nice look. And one thing else that we'd like to do is look at how you can use styles. So I'm going to undo what I've done here in the border. I'm going to paste in a style, which is essentially all of the things that I have down here. It's a corner radius of 3 and a padding of, it's all the values that I had down here. So now I can come down to the border and take all of that out and do style equals static resource of blue border style. Now that will use this reusable component to apply this style to this. So I'm not going to run this because it's the same. One more thing I want to paste in here is a shadow. And I'll add that here to the existing style that I've created. Note that drop shadow effects are a supported part of Silverlight, and we're just using that support in our GoZam objects with the various parameters that determine how dark and the angle of the shadow, etc. Let me run that now. There, that pops nicely. It adds a little more 3D effect to the linear gradient. In this video, we've seen how to use filters in RIA controls to limit the data that the graph is seeing. We've added a second line to the node template and a tooltip as well. We've explored just a tiny piece of what's available graphically with gradients and shadows in Silverlight. Stay tuned. We'll have more of these. We expect that our next video sample is going to show how to expand and collapse subtrees in the larger set of data. Thank you very much.